Like the reporters that were featured in that segment, longtime journalist Isabel Dolores Dee Wedemeyer also committed her career to covering state politics. The LCA didn't allow women to be included in the organization when it was first created, but when it finally did, Wedemeyer became one of the first women to be admitted in 1967. We spoke with the trailblazer about her career and legacy. Here's that interview.
I can take points in my life and say that a newspaper headline was involved with it. Newspapers were important. Important things appeared there, and people read them, and I read them. I loved learning, I loved reading, and I loved writing. When I graduated from George Washington, I was planning to try to get a newspaper job in the South and go back. I wanted to become a reporter, and of course you can't start out as a reporter necessarily at a paper like the Washington Post. I asked a reporter there what I should do, and so this reporter said, go to a capital city where there are two newspapers competing for stories. And I went down to the newspaper the Sunday night, and I got editor and publisher out, and sure enough there was an ad for the Knickerbocker News in Albany. And I applied, and I got the job. I started at the Knickerbocker News in 1966. You were assigned stories, and I remember hearing that one of the women was being sent to the Cohoes town meeting, and I thought, well, she already has experience reporting. What will I be assigned to? And so I immediately pointed out that I was going to be in the South in the next month in Alabama, and that could I try to get an interview with George Wallace? And they said yes. I think that the significance of my doing that story was that when politicians were coming through town, like Senator Kennedy, I was likely assigned to them. So it gets to be about December, and I remember I was sitting in the newsroom thinking, how could I get Mr. Fitchenberg to let me go to the state legislature? And when he walks right up and he says, how would you like to go to the state legislature? And so I was assigned to be the correspondent over there and reported to work. I didn't know about the LCA, and I didn't know that I would become the first woman to be elected, and I didn't know when I was under consideration for becoming a member. And I just know that I went over there and I got to work. Starting out, I was interested in the subjects that I was reporting on, and I think you feel a responsibility immediately. This job is one in which you check facts and check facts. There's a standard that I was told of, that if you're doing something quite controversial, you must have at least two sources. I would insist upon a lot more. I would really want to be sure that I saw it from every standpoint. And I remember when I was editing other reporters that someone once brought me the story, and as they turned the story in and they left, they said, oh, well, the Association of Realtors are going to be really annoyed about this. And I said, well, call them up right now and find out and get that into the story. And I think that's the kind of thing that you have to think about. It was a time where one generation was turning on and dropping out, and there was a protest for the Vietnam War. There was certainly a big movement against racism and the women's movement. And there also was a coming of age of people who were under 21. There was an effort to get voting for 18-year-olds, because if they could go off to war, they ought to be able to vote. And so all these issues were coming up. The environment was becoming an issue. So the legislature was really important in terms of how they were going to react to those things and how they were going to act on them. One of the things that I am proud of about this is that the next year after I left Albany, UPI and Gannett sent women to cover the state legislature. I'm just so grateful that I had that experience. I wanted to be a reporter, and I worked at it, and I wrote stories, and I loved what I was doing. I loved working. You know, the year I was at the Post, I remember hating for it to be Saturday because I couldn't go to work. And there's always another story to do. There's something to learn, and I see them all the time now. Even now when I'm not working as a journalist every day. And sometimes I call reporters and tell them something.
And for more information on the work, legacy, and career of Dee Wedemeyer, you can visit our website. That's at nynow.org.